The rain was pouring heavily that evening, drumming against the small apartment window like the relentless ticking of a clock counting down to some inevitable disaster. Armaan Verma, a single father of 7-year-old Mira, sat hunched over the tiny dining table, the weight of the world etched into the lines on his face. His laptop glowed faintly in the dim light, open to an email he had been avoiding all day. Work had been hard lately, more than usual. His boss, a strict, no-nonsense woman named Tanvi Kapoor, had always been intimidating, but lately she had been different, distant, observant. Sometimes Armaan thought he could see a hint of something more in her eyes, but he told himself it was his imagination. Who was he to think that someone like Tanvi, the formidable manager of their corporate firm, could ever care about someone like him? Before he could dwell further, a loud, furious knock shook the apartment door. Armaan jumped, heart hammering in his chest. That knock! It wasn't polite, it wasn't ordinary. It carried the storm outside right into his room. His fingers trembled as he opened the door, and there she was, Tanvi, drenched from the rain, her hair plastered against her face, eyes blazing with a mix of anger and something he couldn't yet decipher. "Armaan Verma!" she yelled, her voice cutting through the storm. "You're fired!" The words hit him like a punch. Fired, just like that. After months of struggling to keep up with deadlines, balancing Mira's school, the never-ending household chores, and the silent judgment from colleagues, it all seemed to crumble in an instant. Armaan felt a wave of helplessness, frustration, and shame wash over him. Mira peeked from behind his leg, her tiny hands clutching his trousers, eyes wide with fear. Before the narrative goes deeper, friends, if you believe in kindness and second chances, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Stories of Kindness. Your support can help spread these heart-touching stories. Armaan swallowed hard, fighting back tears. "Ma'am, please, I can explain," he began, but Tanvi held up her hand sharply. "No explanations, Armaan. I've warned you countless times about your performance. I won't." She stopped, seemingly frustrated with herself, her chest heaving from the run in the rain. Armaan noticed for the first time the subtle trembling in her hands, the flicker of concern in her eyes that betrayed the cold exterior she maintained at the office. That night, as Tanvi stormed away, Armaan sat on the floor with Mira, holding her close. The apartment felt emptier than ever, the walls echoing his silent despair. He had tried so hard to balance work and parenthood, often sacrificing sleep, meals, and social life to make sure Mira never felt the absence of her mother, who had passed away when the girl was just 3. And now, the one stability he had, his job, was slipping through his fingers. Over the next few days, Armaan found himself in a strange limbo. His pride would not let him reach out to Tanvi or anyone else for help, but his heart was breaking. Every morning, Mira would ask, "Papa, will we have food today?" And every night she would sleep with her little hands clasped in prayer. He wanted to be strong for her, but the fear of failure gnawed at him relentlessly. Meanwhile, Tanvi couldn't shake the image of Armaan's small apartment and the tired but determined look in his eyes. Unlike most employees she had let go in the past, there was something different about him. Despite the mistakes, despite the missed deadlines, he carried a sense of responsibility and love that radiated from him even in moments of despair. And the memory of how he always stayed late at the office, quietly correcting errors without complaining, haunted her more than she cared to admit. A week later, Tanvi found herself outside Armaan's apartment again, though this time there was hesitation in her steps. She had heard that he had been struggling, trying to manage freelance work, tutoring, and odd jobs just to make ends meet. Something in her heart, something she hadn't expected, pushed her forward. She knocked softly this time. Armaan opened the door, surprised to see her. The tension in the room was palpable. "Ma'am, I thought," he began, but she cut him off gently, almost shyly, in a way Armaan had never seen. "Armaan, I may have been too harsh. I didn't..." realize what you were carrying. Her voice wavered. It wasn't just professional concern anymore. It was something deeper. Armaan blinked, unsure how to react. You came back, he whispered, voice breaking. Mira, sensing the shift, peeked out from behind his leg, curiosity replacing fear. Tanvi smiled faintly, a rare warmth that Armaan had never seen in the office. I came to offer you a second chance, she said, but I also came to understand. Over the next few weeks, Tanvi spent time learning about Armaan's life outside the office. She saw the sleepless nights, the sacrifices, the love and patience he poured into Mira. Slowly, her professional demeanor softened, replaced by genuine empathy. And for Armaan, who had been fighting alone, the presence of someone who understood, who didn't judge, felt like a lifeline thrown into a stormy sea. Their interactions remained cautious at first, but Armaan noticed subtle changes. Tanvi would check if he had eaten, ask about Mira's day, or leave little notes on his desk reminding him to take care of himself. Armaan, who had grown accustomed to doing everything alone, felt an unfamiliar warmth creeping into his life. It wasn't just relief, it was hope. One evening, as they stayed late in the office working on a major project, Tanvi noticed Armaan rubbing his eyes tiredly. You need rest, Armaan. You can't keep doing everything alone, she said softly. For the first time, Armaan felt he didn't have to carry the world on his shoulders. He shared stories of Mira, of her dreams, of the challenges he faced as a single parent. And in return, Tanvi shared her own struggles. Pressures from the office, personal sacrifices, and the loneliness of being someone who carried authority but often lacked genuine companionship. Days turned into weeks, and slowly their bond deepened. What started as professional concern grew into mutual respect, then into understanding, and quietly into something more profound. Armaan learned to lean on someone again, and Tanvi discovered that beneath his quiet demeanor was a resilience that inspired her. They laughed, they argued, they comforted each other, and slowly Armaan's apartment no longer felt like a place of isolation. It became a home filled with warmth, laughter, and hope. Then came a day when Mira, seeing them together, asked innocently, "Papa, is Tanvi auntie going to stay forever?" Armaan looked at her daughter, then at Tanvi, and smiled. There was a moment of unspoken understanding, a silent promise that life could indeed offer second chances. And in that quiet exchange, Armaan realized that sometimes the most unexpected storms bring the most beautiful rainbows. A special request, dear viewers. If you have someone in your life who needs kindness, a second chance, or simply understanding, reach out today. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Create it. As weeks turned into months, Armaan's life changed. His work improved with Tanvi's guidance, his confidence returned, and Mira's laughter echoed through the apartment again. Tanvi, once the formidable boss, had become a friend, a confidant, and perhaps, slowly, something even deeper. They had faced storms, heartbreak, and misjudgments, but through it all, kindness and understanding had bridged the gap between two very different lives. Before we end, friends, if this story touched your heart, if it reminded you that second chances and genuine human connections can change lives, please like, comment, and share this video. Subscribe to Stories of Kindness to keep witnessing moments that heal, inspire, and restore faith in humanity. Armaan and Tanvi's story is a quiet testament to resilience, love, and the power of compassion. Sometimes life's harshest storms aren't punishments, they're invitations to open your heart. And sometimes, just sometimes, the person who seems out of reach might just be the one who restores hope in the most unexpected way.